Most of you aren't failing because you lack talent. You're failing because you have too much of it. You are a storm of wasted energy. You are trying to light up the whole sky at once. You have 5 side hustles, 3 passions, a dozen half-read books, and 100 open tabs in your mind. You think that by spreading yourself thin, you are keeping all your options open. But the open option is the graveyard of the great. Nature doesn't work that way. A laser doesn't work that way. And a grizzly doesn't hunt that way. A laser is just light that has been forced into a single direction. It doesn't try to be bright. It focuses every photon on one microscopic point until it cuts through steel. If that same energy were scattered, it wouldn't even be a flashlight. It would just be a glow. You are currently glowing, and glowing isn't enough to change the world. Today, we talk about the law of the burn, the tactical necessity of strategic abandonment. Look at the sequoia. The giant sequoia is the largest living thing on this planet. It's ancient, it's unmovable, and it owes its existence to fire. In the high Sierras, the forest floor becomes cluttered. Dead branches, pine needles, and lesser shrubs pile up around the base of these giants. This surrounding litter starts to compete for the same nitrogen, the same water, and the same space. If the forest stays perfect and safe, the sequoia eventually starves. It becomes a victim of its own surroundings. But then the fire comes. Most people see a forest fire and see a tragedy. The sequoia sees an opportunity. The fire burns away the scraps. It kills the shrubs. It clears the rot. It cleans the floor. But the sequoia, it has evolved a bark so thick and a spirit so stubborn that the fire can't touch it. When the smoke clears, the sequoia is the only thing left standing. It now has 100% of the nutrients, 100% of the water, 100% of the sun. The fire didn't hurt the giant. The fire saved it. You are currently drowning in shrubs. You are protecting pine needles in your life that are stealing the water from your giant. It's time to light the match. Michelangelo was once asked how he created the David, perhaps the most perfect statue in human history. He didn't say he built it. He didn't say he added beauty to the stone. He said, quote, "I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free," end quote. Mastery is not a process of addition. It is a process of removal. Every strike of the chisel was a no. No to this extra piece of rock. No to that distraction. No to that imperfection. He didn't make the David. He found the David by killing everything that wasn't him. You are currently trying to add your way to success. You want more tools, more followers, more hacks, and more equipment. But your David is already there, buried under the junk of your own indecision. The difference between an amateur and a master is that the amateur is afraid to lose anything. The master is eager to lose everything that isn't the mission. You need to stop asking what you need to start doing. You need to look at your calendar, your to-do list, and your relationships and ask, what can I burn to set the angel free? Now, look at the human reality of the burn. Most people know the name Walt Disney as a global titan, but in early 1928, he was just another specialist for hire. He was visiting a dumpster called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald was Walt's first real hit. It was a reliable character, a steady paycheck, and a safe seat at the table. To an outsider, Walt had made it. He had the good income, but he was about to learn the law of the sequoia the hard way. In March of 1928, Walt traveled to New York to negotiate a better deal with his distributor, a man named Charles Mintz. Walt wanted more money to improve the quality of the animation. He wanted to grow. But Mintz had a different plan. He looked Walt in the eye and told him that he had secretly signed away almost all of Walt's animators. He had stolen the rights to Oswald. He told Walt that if he didn't accept a massive pay cut and surrender control of his own studio, he was finished. To the world, Walt Disney's forest was on fire. Everything he had built for the last year was turning to ash in that New York office. He walked out of that building with 0 employees, 0 characters, and 0 income. But watch what happened on the train ride back to California. Most men would have spent those 3 days in the dining car mourning the loss of the lucky rabbit. They would have been terrified of the burn. But because the resin of his good-enough career had finally melted, Walt was free. He no longer had the safety of Oswald to fall back on. He was forced to reach for something deeper. On that train, in the middle of the wreckage, he sketched a new character, a small, plucky mouse. He called him Mickey. If Charles Mintz hadn't burned Walt's studio to the ground, if he had just given a small raise and kept him comfortable, Walt would have spent the next 20 years making good Oswald cartoons for someone else's empire. He would have stayed a scavenger. The fire didn't destroy Walt Disney. It liberated him. It cleared the undergrowth of a mediocre career so a Sequoia could finally take root. He had to lose his luck to find his legacy. So, when you look at your own burn, when a client leaves, a deal collapses, or your income takes a hit, stop looking at the flames. Start looking at the seeds. The heat is the only thing that can release your real potential. The crisis isn't an ending. It's a clearing. It's the moment the serious money stops being a dream and starts being an inevitability. Here is your blueprint for the burn. Phase 1. The audit of the shrubs. Write down everything you are currently doing. Be honest. The podcasts you listen to but don't learn from. The networking that is just gossip in disguise. The projects you keep on life support, even though you haven't touched them in 6 months. Phase 2. Identify the giant. What is the one thing, if you gave it 100% of your heat, that would make everything else irrelevant? For me, it's this voice. For you, it might be the one skill you've been hiding in your invisible years. Phase 3. The strike. Light the match. Quit the things that are okay so you can be exceptional at the one thing that matters. It will probably hurt. You will feel late. You will feel like you're losing ground. But remember the Sequoia. The world will see the smoke and think you're failing. They'll see you quitting projects and narrowing your focus and think you've lost your mind. Let them think it. Wait in the silence of the blackened floor, because when the smoke clears, you won't be a glow anymore. You will be a certainty. Kill the clutter. Own the space. Wait for the wait.